It was about 20 years ago. I was at university. Professor Salim Hassani, who was the author of the Muslim Heritage, the Muslim Inventions 1000, right? This guy gave this an amazing presentation, and I'll never forget something he said there, which I can't believe it's taken me this long to share this with you guys. So inshallah, you'll benefit. So he showed this PowerPoint, right? And he showed some of the great, he showed this PowerPoint of these Muslim, Eastern-looking, Muslim-looking guys with topis or turbans and big beards, right? And he says, you look at this, and people nowadays will look at them and think, Bin Laden, terrorist, whatever, right? That's what people are going to think. Well, actually, do you know who these guys are? And he mentioned, oh, this one's Khawarizmi, this one's Ibn Sina, this one's, right, this one's Ibn Khaldun. And, mentioned these were great luminaries in their fields in our times. And he talked about the Muslim Golden Age. And he said that one thing he noticed, that these great luminaries, they all had some very interesting things in common. When they, in their childhood, in their upbringing, they, many of them had memorized the Quran. They were huffaz, not just of Quran. They also memorized hadith. And so what he said was that it was really interesting. He said, what's efficiency? If we think about efficiency as a ummah, as a Muslim, efficiency equals output over input, right? Your output over input. And he says, as Muslims, our input is our dhikr, our ibadah, right? The ibadah we do, and this is all input in terms of that's what nourishes our soul. That's what powers us up as Muslims. And if we do it properly, our output is our service to humanity, subhanAllah. So he says the Muslims in the golden age, they had, prodigious input and incredible output as well. So they were very efficient, because even with a small amount of input, they gave so much output to humanity. He says, in our times, Ya Rab, he says, we're quite inefficient. He says, those of us who have a lot of input, a lot of dhikr, ibadah, unfortunately our output's not much. And he says, and many of Muslims in our times, we don't even have any input, right? Subhanallah. So I thought this is such an amazing thing. Efficiency is output over input. Your input's your dhikr, your output's your service to humanity. So inshallah, we want to get our fundamentals, we need to get our wajibs in place. One of the things I teach in Allah First Time Management, I get my clients to make sure they check off their fundamentals of their deen first. If that's not in place, that's where we start. Once that's in place, then it's really easy, inshallah, to give much khidmah and service to your family, to your community, to humanity, inshallah. So I hope you found that beneficial. Just remember, keep up that input, and then remember, don't forget your output to humanity, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.